Going on vacation with friends can be a lot of fun, right? You go to some remote destination or some beach with a whole bunch of your closest friends for a week, and you just think that you're gonna have all sorts of fun and that there's not gonna be any problems, right? Wrong, you naive little child. Okay, so I do actually enjoy going vacationing with my friends. I do it once a year. And I don't have to worry about any of them watching this video because none of them watch my videos anyway. With all that said, welcome back to Keith's Knowledge Corner. We already did an intro, so let's just jump right into it. Planning can go one of two ways. Either you all have a consensus idea of where you want to go and what you want to do, or you're a bunch of normal people, not in a cult, that all have different things that you want to do. So the planning becomes super chaotic because you have a lot of people who want to just like hang out with their friends and do whatever else everybody else wants to do. And then you have that one friend who we're just going to call the Nicolas Cage type, who randomly speaks up and says, "Oh, I want to go to the Galapagos Islands and hunt humans." And then you and the rest of your friend group all kind of look around going, "Oh, this guy wants to play the most dangerous game." And then you have to try your best to sleep at night while you know that that absolute psycho is on your vacation hunting people trying to take their faces and steal the Declaration of Independence. And then you've got the meals, and I don't know about you guys, but I consider myself a pretty picky eater. And if you've got like 8 other people with you on this trip, and they all have different tastes in food, it's almost impossible to decide what food you're gonna get. Now, let's just do some math here. So if you're going on a vacation for like 8 days, and you have 3 different meals a day, and then you've also got like 8 different people, that's like 300 meals. And 300 meals is a lot of awkward conversations to have, right? Because most of you would probably be fine with like a cheap generic fast food burger because I'm not sponsored. And you're all a bunch of broke college-age kids, so who wants to afford some nice fancy dinner? But then there's always that one motherfucker. And you know exactly who I'm talking about. It's the guy who like grew up in a privileged household. He's the guy who only wore polo shirts in high school. And all they ever talked about was going to their dad's country club and playing beach volleyball and water polo. And listen, if you don't know that person, it was you, motherfucker. The sleeping situation is always a battle for the beds because let's be totally honest here, the 8 or 10 of you that are at this house cannot afford an 8 to 10 bed house for a week. And then you've got the people that have to like uncomfortably share beds with a group of their friends, which is totally fine until one of them tries to cuddle up on the other one in the middle of the night. And then it's the only thing that's talked about on the rest of the trip, or blood is shed in ritual combat for control of the bed that was snuggled upon. When you're planning this shit, and even while you're on the trip itself, you've got a couple different friend types that can be categorized. You've got the organizer. They're the one that collects the money and then puts the down payment on the hotel or Airbnb or special plot of land on the Cannibal Island. And when you're on the trip, they really like to try to take charge and make sure that everything that they planned is going according to plan. But it never goes to plan because all of your friends are a bunch of crackheads that want to do 75 different things a day. You've got the followers. They're the ones that just kind of vibe and let other people make decisions and go follow whatever they're doing. But they're also completely content with sitting on the couch and smoking weed all day, just so they can go home and smoke weed and play video games. And then you've got what I like to call the lazy f***s of the trip. They're the ones who really piss me off because they're the ones who always submit the payment last and they never have the travel plans until like the day before. And then you stress the entire group out because you have no idea if you're actually gonna get there or not when you've invested all this money into the trip. And while everyone is stressing out and flipping out, they're just kind of sitting there like, "Oh yeah, I'll get there." Like, what the f*** are you doing? And then when they finally show up, they have no money to do anything, and then they go home and you don't invite them back to the trip the year after because that's not the kind of energy you need for a trip like this. Honestly, at this point, if you still want to go on vacation with your friends, go for it. Try your best to have fun, even if I clouded your head with judgmental remarks and ideas of self-judgment, like I'm your parents gaslighting you as an impressionable young teenager. Anyway, yeah, like and subscribe, and I never learned how to actually do an outro, so I'll see you next week or whenever.